as well as usual. That's why I haven't been doing any demonstrations. Well, first thing, if you know who I am, my name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens, and these emails don't bother me. Like I said, I find it kind of hilarious, and this is why I'm sharing them with you. So, as I said before, we have a fellow who basically goes by the name of Crow 1176 that apparently has like nothing better to do today, but send me emails on just the dumbest things I've ever seen in my entire life. So this is a new one. We're going to be adding to the chapter under the links. If you notice that when we post at the bottom, we have like all these links, and these are all the links of all the stuff we caught him doing that we post. All right, so since I got a little downtime, I got about 27 gallons done, and now I got some time to basically come in here and just go through my account. So right now I'm answering more orders and stuff from customers, and every once in a while we get one of these emails from Mr. Jamie. All right, so this is the new one right here. So when I'm putting the description about wolf in sheep clothing, let me get so Jamie can be educated on this and your followers real quick. When you're a Christian, God gives you insight. Put it this way, like say having like second sight. You can see the wolf in sheep clothing. You can see the devil in the bush. You know what I mean? So when I go before a business meeting and I walk in there as a Christian, you know what I mean? I'm praying before I go in. I put it in God's hands. God gives me direction on how to see things and how to understand things. So I don't walk out with basically having someone steal from me or take from me in situations like that. Because keep in mind, in a room you could be sitting in front of a bunch of people that are smiling at you, but they could all be devils at the end of the day. So basically I need God's protection when I walk into a business meeting or any form of meeting that I have to go into and do a negotiation for business. Second, I've been in this business for a long time. I've had contracts before. I had the do's and the don'ts. I've made the mistakes and so forth, and I learned from them. Sometimes I did listen, sometimes I didn't listen, but I learn now in life to listen more than basically listen to my own insight. Because basically your own insight can't be trusted. God knows more than your own insight. So that's something you have to learn as you're a Christian. As you go along, these mistakes you make, you will learn from these mistakes. And this is what I call the Christian boot camp. And sometimes, like I said, people think all Christians got a perfect life. No, they don't. Sometimes we have to go through some rough stuff. And through this rough stuff we have to go through, we learn faith, we learn trust, and we learn basically next time we go to a situation to put more faith in God than give the devil that opportunity. And the devil will come and try to steal that opportunity as much as possible. So the contract I have through the individual, and I've had contracts offered to me before, I pray on these things. I put this in God's hands. I ask him to direct him. Is this the right way to go? Should I be going in this direction? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? And I let him decide for me. I don't decide for myself. And he felt that this was the contract for my company. And everything is working out exactly as it is. Perfectly, with no problem. The fellow's a good Christian man, and things are going well. So, and then on top of that, we are discussing on making the paint still available for our customers, which I still want to do. And that's something that's going to happen. These people are willing to work with me, you know, and not try to control or take from me. And even if they did, they couldn't, because you can't take something from a Christian. Something that God has blessed you to have. You can't take that from them. The only thing you're going to do is you're going to basically cause trouble for yourself. See, this is why I try to explain to Jamie and their followers. Look at it this way. You look at it like, say, the devil's a pit bull. He's got to be one of the biggest, nastiest dogs on the block. He's locked up on his chain, right? And all he wants to do is get off this chain so he can rip you apart. That's all he wants to do. That's all he thinks about is all day long. And the thing about it is that as a Christian, I know that there are potential people out there who basically want to see my downfall. They want to see my destruction, my downfall, but it's not going to happen when I'm trying to explain to you, because my faith is with God. And even if that dog were to pop that chain and fly across the street, he couldn't lay one hand on me. Nothing. Nothing. Where somebody like you would be walking around the streets and you're not putting your faith in God, and you're doing things that the devil is telling you to do. But when that dog gets up the leash, he's going to come right at your throat. He's going to take it out just like that, because you have no protection from God. Because God doesn't protect the wicked. He only protects those who basically serve him. That's who he protects. So that dog will be in that neighborhood running all day long looking for somebody to kill, and you be the one he run up on top of because you're not protected by the Lord. Because you do things that you should not be doing. I, on the other hand, I put my faith in God. And that's why I'm protected. So, as I said before, you know, these things, when you send me this stuff, I can see right through them. I can see right through them. It's like having a second sight. I can see the stupidity. I can see the idiot, the dumb stuff that people do. I can see right through it. Another thing, too, is you have to understand is I don't chase money. If I did chase money, I could have sold out a long time ago. I got plenty of offers from my company to sell out, and I did not. I chase my Lord and Savior. That's who I chase. So people get on the earth and they get so busy and they get caught up with the things of this world, and they forget why they're here to begin with. You was never put on this earth to begin with, whether you like it or not. You was never put on this earth to begin with to indulge in your own pleasures in life on this earth. You were put here to basically serve God or the devil, one or the other. Face the reality. This is what it is. This is what it is. It's the truth. You read through the Bible, it comes down to one thing. It doesn't come down to your fancy cars and your expensive houses and how much money you can collect and how much fame you can have. It comes down to one thing. Either you go to hell or you go to heaven. That's it. There's no in between. So when the time comes, whenever he calls you back, because remember, everything on the earth is borrowed time. Everything you have here is borrowed. Everything I have in my house, when I die, will be somebody else will take it. It'll be somebody else's. It won't be mine. It won't be going with me. But these are the things that I allowed myself to be chained down to the earth to. Running after the money, running after the money, running after the greed, running after the greed. And I forgot to basically think about my salvation. So then when that day comes, when either God calls me back, or either something happens in the process and I die, I have to answer for every sin that I've committed that has been written in the book of life. So you got to go before the face of God, whether you believe it or not, and answer to him when he says, so what if you don't with my time? I've given you time on the earth. What did you do with it? I spent it chasing things on the earth. That's how the devil occupies your mind. Having you chasing things on the earth. Some people don't even like that when they say it. When I talk about this, but it is the truth. The devil will keep you occupied chasing things on the earth. Now, you can have nice things. Don't say you can't have nice things, but it's important that you put God first. When people say you don't put no God before God, well, guess what? Anything can become your God. Money can become your God. Your car can become your God. Anything you put before God becomes your God. You don't have to have an idol in the house you worship. It can be things you put before God first. So that's why I don't fall into nonsense like this, because I see it coming a mile away. Because number one, my Lord tells me if it's from him. And if it's not from him, I bypass it. I don't fall into those kind of traps. Number two, I don't chase money at all, period. You know, I don't care if you got $500,000. I don't care if you got 50 million. I don't care if you got 100 million. I don't care if you got fancy cars. I don't care what you have. You can't buy me out. And I'm not going to basically be overwhelmed by what you have. Now, at the end of the day, I can have very little at my table and still be more happier than you because I have the Lord. So that kind of stuff right there don't faze me at all. So when I see these dollar symbols popping up and they think that, oh my goodness, he's going to go, he's going to do, like what they're trying to do is they're trying to get me to do something stupid. So good afternoon, sir. He always spells my name wrong. He spells it B-I-R-D. It's B-Y-R-D. That's how my name is spelled, my last name. Have you had a chance to sign the contract yet? Now, the only people would know about that is basically the people I've been talking to on YouTube and Facebook, and a company wouldn't approach me that way. A company, if they approached me, would have all their information at the bottom and tax and cell phone office, had the logo on the side and all blah, 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 all that information there. So they would never contact me this way at all, period. I've had companies contact me before, like if SNL, if SL Screens wanted to contact me, they would have the logo at the bottom and all their credentials here and there and there. That's what they would have. But this is not. This is somebody writing some dumb nonsense. That has nothing better to do with their time. So, it's possible that you can give us where you're trying to get this process as quickly as possible. So they're supposed to be giving me all this money if I don't sign this contract and whatever, so and so and so. That's just to discourage me to keep from signing this document with this company that God has blessed me to be with. So they don't want me to have that at all, period. They want me to fall into this trap right here and wait and not sign the contract. Go back and tell them that I don't want to sign the contract because I got a better offer. You think I was born yesterday? You think I'm stupid? Seriously? Honestly? Seriously? I've had contracts that you've never even seen before. I've dealt with companies you've never even heard of before. And you think I'm that dumb that I'm going to fall into something that stupid? Are you kidding me? You know what when a business contacts you, it doesn't look like that. It's like a preschooler typed that up. It doesn't look like that. So, of course, I know it's not you because basically if it was you, it'd be a lot of bad spelling there. No disrespect, but it would be a lot of bad spelling there. So it's not you. You got somebody else to write this up for. So guess what? You failed miserably again. I think 3 times you tried to make attempts toward me today, and you failed miserably all 3 times. Miserably. So this is why I show you. I share this with you because you need to see some of the nonsense this guy does. And I told you, every time you send me some dumb nonsense, I'm going to put an email on blast so everybody can see it. Again, I don't chase money, Crow. I don't do it. If I was basically obsessed with money, my lifestyle would be a whole lot different from what I'm living right now, especially with the technology I have at hand right now. And number two, like I said before, God allows me to be able to see the nonsense before it even comes up. That's the beautiful thing about being with the Lord. It's more about basically because He allows my business to grow. It's because His protection, His understanding, His knowledge, how good He is to me. That's who I depend. That's who I put my trust in. He allows me to see this nonsense before it comes up. But keep in mind, Crow, you keep stacking up these coals like this. Sooner or later, God's going to turn around and have a talk with you. So you need to get your act together, man. Really, seriously. You need to get your act together. If you don't believe in God, trust me, when He comes down to make Himself known, you will believe after that. Take it as a joke if you want. As I said before, devil's out there running out there with no leash, free as can be, and cause as much destruction as he wants, until God basically makes it to the point where He's basically going to be taken up before judgment, thrown into the lake of fire. But until then, He's out there doing whatever He wants to do. You think you want to really be out there acting up like that and running around with that thing out there? Come on. Like I said, I can tell you stories that make your hair raise on the back of your neck. I've seen things in my lifetime that have let me know that we ain't the only people on this earth. There are other things on this earth that are moving about every single day that you don't even know about. That could be sitting there in your kitchen, it could be sitting in your living room, it could be watching you sleep at night. Yeah, it's terrifying. It is scary. It's very scary. Read through the Bible. Understand that there are two beings on this earth. You have one which is God and one which is the devil. I'd rather be with God any day of the week. I said the most craziest thing I ever did, second craziest thing I ever did in my entire life was when I wasn't a Christian and when I was living out there in them streets like that, and I was walking out there at any given time, somebody could have came and took my life easily. And I had God's protection that entire time, even when I wasn't doing the right thing. And the one thing I love about the Lord, He's a merciful and forgiving God, but He also too runs out of patience after a while. That I can say. So that's why I look at this stuff. When this stuff comes over, it doesn't bother me. I laugh about it because it's funny exactly how far somebody will go just to be as devious as they possibly can. And the sad thing about it is, as you're reading this right here, this is what the devil's probably pumping into, telling him to do. Because at the end of the day, God's not telling you this stuff. That's Satan telling you this stuff. This dumb nonsense right here is from the devil, telling you to do this, and you do it. Man, it's a shame, but like I said, keep in mind, I know the ones that come off like the scammers that hit. Theirs are completely different. They're actually much better to read than that. Their literature is really good. It's hilarious, but stuff is really, really good. This right here is not even close to that level. This is basically somebody writing out some dumb nonsense to try to discourage me from signing this major contract, so they can try to disrupt what's going on in my life. And let me tell you another reason why. Some people go, well, how do you know it's him? I'll tell you why. Okay, so we had this business deal over in Jersey. And I don't know if he told you before, I might have told you before, we had a business deal in Jersey. The fellow basically was looking at these, and that's when I was doing inflatable screens. And the fellow had this business where they were doing inflatable screens for venues and stuff like that. So he was looking at my technology and thinking, gee whiz, if I spray with this stuff, I can start my parties a little early, make a little more extra money, which he wanted to do. So the fellow drove out to my house. He went down to my basement. He saw all the screens, all the demonstrations and everything. He was there first on hand to see this stuff. Later on, he goes back over to Jersey. He leaves me with one of his big screens to work with. So me and my ex decide to go over to Lowe's to pick up some patio furniture, stuff like that. We have a barbecue coming up with some of our friends. And I'll make sure we had enough stuff to be comfortable. So as I'm in Lowe's shopping, my phone goes off. It's the guy who I just left my house a few minutes ago or an hour ago, so forth, going back over to Bridge of Jersey, tells me that someone had contacted him. Now, the biggest mistake I made there is that when I got the contract, I displayed it. Because I didn't think anybody would do anything that stupid, that low, like to be that low to do something that dumb. But I displayed the contract. He didn't mind me, and I asked him for advice. Like, if I asked him, like, hey, if it's okay if I basically show off like this contract online, because I'm really happy to have it. He was like, sure, go ahead, no problem. Like, I've got his permission before, putting out his information out there. We use a company anyway, we're going to mind about that. But still, I wanted to get the permission to be sure. So I showed off the contract, and no sooner than that, Jamie had contacted this company and was sending them all this dirty stuff about me, saying, hey, you don't want to trust him, he's a scammer, you want to do business with me, blah, 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 blah. Yes. The fellow contacted me and said, who is this Crow fellow? Who's this Jamie fellow? I said, oh, that's the internet troll we had that basically constantly talk trash about our products, and he's just bent on basically trying to destroy my company. And the guy was like, does he know that I was at your house, that I saw this stuff firsthand? See, the guy was at the house. I told you before, no company in their right mind is going to sign a contract with you without working with the goods first. They're not going to sign into that. And the fellow was already at my house. We did the demonstration outside in the back of my house. He liked the product, and we got a contract. And he was already out there. But that fast, this individual contacted him to let him know that he didn't want to do business with me. He wanted to do business with him. That's dirty, isn't it? That is really, really dirty. But that's what he did. So I learned from now on, when I show off contracts, I leave valuable information off the contract. I'll just show the name. And I've already talked to these individuals ahead of time. They are well aware of Crow. They know who he is. So he calls here. They're just going to hang the phone up on him. And this is where you started damaging your company from the door. These big corporations and businesses that can basically put your business on top, won't have nothing to do with you because they know what kind of dirty tactics you do. And at the end of the day, you'll probably end up getting one of them sued from doing something stupid. But yeah, that's the stuff he does. So this nonsense right here is nothing new. This is how we know it's from him. It's just stuff he's done so much in the past that matches up to stuff he does now. But again, Crow, Jamie, Fernando, Gonzalez, whatever you call yourself, you have failed again for the second time today. Or actually third time today. You try to go out there and make my product look bad with that UV mix. I don't know where in the world you got that idea from. I have the product. It's right here in the house. You falsified your own demonstration with the product not looking exactly like the product I had in the container, which was your product. But for some reason, your product was much lighter. I don't know why you did it that way. Well, we know why you did it that way. You can pull a higher white level. The whole thing with the memes and all that stuff, that stuff doesn't bother me, man. I mean, I don't know why or how you would think that would disrupt my life. Well, I don't know. I don't know what's going through your mind when you actually took the time to make that, because that's not going to disrupt me. It's not going to bother me in any way. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm still going to make the same amount of money I make all the time. So how's it disrupting me in any way? I'm contracted now. So regardless, I get a certain amount of cash flow, a minimum cash flow of what they have to pay me to keep me sustained. And that right there is nothing. Just to give you an idea, that's nothing. Nothing. And I'm not trying to brag here. That's nothing to what my contract's worth. So you can understand. You can get an idea of where I'm sitting at now. I mean, that right there, I could go out and I'm gonna leave. No, I'm gonna keep quiet. I could buy a few Bugattis, but I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. You just don't know how big my contract is. It's big. But anyway, that's a blessing from God. I'm not gonna brag about it. And I'm teaching myself as I'm doing this to keep from calling this guy, and, you know, an idiot and all sort of that. So I'm learning from this. Is a good experience, because also too, this allows me to grow better as a Christian, because when I have to endure people like this, it allows me to be able to be more calmer, don't call them bad names, you know what I mean, and try to do things the way Jesus would do it. So I'm exposing you for the person that you are. So every time you send me a dumb email like this, or if it's a really good one, I'm not going to do all of them, but if it's a really, really good one, I'll share it with you. All right, my break is over. I got to go downstairs and do something else. I actually ran out of supplies. I got more supplies coming in tomorrow, so I ran out. So I got more supplies coming tomorrow. So at least I get downtime for a little bit. Whew, I did 26 gallons today. And that's another thing about it is, it's only 26 gallons. My contract is for way more than that. My contract is for 200 to 300 gallons a week. That's what my contract is for. It is up there. Because mind you, I'm going to be supplying it's probably going to be higher than that. Oh, I forgot about that part. I got to get me warehouse space. I got to get warehouse space, and I got to get equipment to make this stuff. I mean, I got to get big equipment. I mean, equipment. Like you see, like how it's made, where they have those machines make it and pour it. And yeah, I'm going to have to get myself a loading dock. I'm going to hire a lot of people. Well, if you ever want a job, you can work for me. And that's not to be smart or rude. If he does want a job, he can work for me. But then again, I don't know. I might trust him. He might do something dirty. He might sabotage something or do something ugly. I'll leave that one alone. Oh well, with that being said, I gotta get out of here. I gotta literally do some research now, because I just really thought about that. I'm going through I'm doing 27 gallons. I just thought about that. That's gonna be a weekly thing. It's gonna be a weekly thing. I'm gonna be doing at least easy 320 gallons. I need a machine to do that. I want to do some research. So now I get machinery, I get warehouse space, I gotta get workers, I gotta get insurance, I gotta get blah blah blah, I gotta get trucks and vehicles, I get the stuff from A to B. I also got a loading dock and having UPS or FedEx come to just pick it up. To get a corporate license, I can get the discounts and all stuff like that. So yeah, got lots of stuff to do now. A lot of stuff are going to change. Switching over from selling to basically being manufacturing, research and development is different. It's much funner for me. It's much funner because I get to test stuff all day long. That's what I'm going to be doing. Basically designing new products and test it. Last time I went with the wind chamber, and I was just talking about that. Getting the wind chamber and getting like a room where I can basically have nothing but ambient light hit the screen, so we can basically test out our screens or ambient light projection technology on much better back, because for me to have, I'm jittering a lot because I'm really excited about it. You don't understand the stuff that's processing through my head. It's like, it's crazy. But if I can build like this giant greenhouse, I can be inside in the wintertime and I can have plenty of light push into this environment and I can test any screen in there. That'd be awesome. You think about the excitement of that right there. Now you got most people sitting in the house trying to worry about ambient light projection technology. And on the other hand, I'm trying to build stuff to have more light come in to hit the screen. Oh man, that'd be beautiful, man. That'd be beautiful. Have cameras in there so I can basically, I can share some of my research, you know what I mean? That'd be cool, man. That'd be really cool to do, man. I can't wait to get this thing set up, man. Can't wait to get my research lab done. I'm gonna get a research lab for testing and designing products. It's anything I want, anything that I need, any kind of projector, anything I need. Now, of course, knowing me, I'm probably going to get maybe a couple big boys, but I am going to get some. I like the cheap projectors, man. I like the cheap projectors because I'm never going to build a screen based off a $4,000, $5,000, or a $500,000 projector. I'm never going to do that because there's no point in that. The point is to get the most crappiest projector that I can get, which will look good, you know what I mean, and use that and build it from there because that's how the product works, you know. If I can build it off a cheap, rinky-dinky projector, you know what I mean, that nobody wants and it's discontinued, then anything else will run off that with no problem. I mean, man, wind tunnels and, oh man, heat and temperature. I mean, imagine I can put a screen, I can make it snow or freeze that area, or I can heat it up in that area. Oh man, then we can test I can customize and build my own different forms of inflatable screens. This is so much stuff. And I got these gaming screen ideas, one for curved screens, this flex screen I want to design, it's freaking sick. Yes, I got some cool stuff I want to design. So all this stuff will be the chance for me to manufacture and design this stuff, and then their job is basically to market and research and sell it. So this gives me a chance to be able to think big on a whole nother level. But like I said, you got people out there that are very angry and very upset with this. And this is right around the time when this individual sat there and sent me that email saying, God is going to disown you and throw you in the gutter. This doesn't look like being disowned and thrown in the gutter. And you got a nerve to say, God bless brother. Every time he didn't sign it with this one, but he usually says, God bless brother. All right, people. Well, my break is done. I'm going to go downstairs. Well, actually, I can't do anything yet. I'm done. I'm out of supplies until tomorrow. What am I going to do? I had an all day plan for processing. I guess I'm going to watch a Western right now. Because, I mean, since my technology is ambient light projection, might as well. So that's the thing about it. You see what time it is in the day right now? I can't jack up my screen. You see what time it is in the day right now? I can go downstairs right now, watch a Western. And my window light. Which I'm about to do right now. He was showing somebody over there, one of the guys who actually, for Sony Corporation, they were showing him one of my screens off. And the guy thought it was a TV and says, no, that's a projection screen. Because keep in mind, projection screens aren't supposed to fire up in this kind of environment. Where am I supposed to put that? Let me see. I thought, okay, I'm waiting for my Chrissy 505 to get here. 505. Let me see, did I walk off with my remote controls? It's got batteries in it. Oh, there it is. And I got my other remote control here by the side. All right, cool. Projector on. So I can't wait. Friday, actually a little earlier, Friday I'm going to be going down to go pick up the parts for my screen. I cannot wait to start the construction for the 250. Oh man, like I said, I can't wait. I'm going to get these two massive speakers on the back of it. To the Pacific Rim. Yep. Oh, those guys are definitely going to get worked over on this hill. I just watched 4 people ride past on bikes on this hill. This hill is nasty. Yeah, they're going to get I hope they don't. They got helmets on, so that's good. But no, this is not the street to play on. Because this is a weird freaking road right here. This road comes up on a curve, like a sharp curve. And then it has 2 ways of traffic. It has commercial and it has everyday pedestrian traffic. So we get buses, dump trucks, all kinds of stuff come around this corner. And it's supposed to be two-way, but it's not. It's a one-way street. So imagine a one-way street with a freaking curve going around the side. At nighttime, there's only one street light on the other side. That's it. And it's dark all the way around. So if you come flying around this corner and a truck comes the other way, man, it's your nightmare right there. You're gone. Not getting away. I've seen a few people get hit already, especially on bikes. So you're up again, Taco Kitty? Taco Kitty. See? And you got big companies like Elite Screens and Black Down, these big companies that can't even do half this stuff. What are we watching? Let me see. Pretty much like the old Dennis the Menace. I haven't watched Dennis the Menace in a while. I like the old shows. Like I watch right now. Watching Leave It to Beaver. That's my shopping regimen. Leave It to Beaver, Gilligan's Island, Fantasy Island, Love Boat, Starsky and Hutch, Columbo. I watch all the old shows from back in the day. That's what I like to watch. Every so once in a while, I watch something else. The Mac Dillon and Wife. I think that's another one. Heart to Heart. Yeah, I like to watch all those shows right there. I think I'm gonna watch the Fantasy Island. Fantasy Island. The plane. There we go. This is what I was watching. Fantasy Island. They got the new Fantasy Island out. I don't think I'm gonna watch it. I like the Mr. Rourke. They got the old school. That's what we're gonna watch. The Fantasy Island. All right. I'm gonna get down here and watch my show and grab myself something to eat, and then I'll probably be back on tomorrow to get the rest of my orders finished up. This is what I got left right now. Everything else downstairs is done, but this is what I have left over. So those are my leftovers. This is what I'm finishing up right now. Out of all of this, this is what's left over right now. And then I got some more bubble wrap came today. Thank God they came in. And then Monday I'm going to order me another maybe 36 gallon containers, so we have enough in. I just wasn't expecting to get that huge order that came in, but that's a blessing. God is good. All right, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. Well, I don't know what you want to call it. I just put a Jamie on blast, just to call it that. That's what it is. And I'm going to get over here and watch some movies or a couple of TV shows and just relax for the rest of the day. Me and Cat. Hey, Cat. Look at you. That's my buddy. Okay, and just relax and just enjoy the rest of my day with the Lord. All right. People like that, don't let them discourage you like that. Just pray and put it in God's hands. That's all you got to do. All right, thank you all. Y'all have a wonderful time, and God bless.